Congratulations, you've decided to start using HelpSpot. So where do you begin? Setting up HelpSpot is extremely easy, and here are the 5 things that you're going to want to absolutely look at when you're setting up HelpSpot for the first time. Number 1, categories, then statuses, then staff, then filters, then mailbox. So let's start by looking at categories. Categories are how you group your requests in HelpSpot. So if you need to have different groups of people who can only work on different kinds of categories, you can have that happen. Categories can also drive custom fields. So custom fields allow you to store whatever kind of data you need in HelpSpot, things like due dates or drop downs. Categories can also drive reporting. So if you need to report, we get one type of one request versus another type of another request. Like in this example here, we've got sales versus support versus other. Those are examples of the kinds of things that you would want to have categories for. And finally, you can have tags under categories. We call them reporting tags. And so in this example, I'll show you right here, in this human resources category, we have tags like, is this a new hire, or is this benefits or policy or time off kind of question. This allows you to have big, broad categories if you want, while still having tags allow you to capture all of the fine-grained data, the reporting you might need. And of course, you can select multiple tags when working on a request. So if this is both a new hire and a benefits question, you can do that. Next, I want to talk about statuses. So statuses are incredibly customizable, and they represent the different steps in your team's workflow. By default, HelpSpot's going to include some out of the box, like what you see here, but these are totally customizable with one exception. You don't even see it on this list because it just has to be there. And that's the one that says active. Aside from that, you can have as many or as few statuses as you'd like. Why would you want statuses? Well, you could just have it say, is this active or is this closed? But if it's helpful to see things like, oh, this is in progress, or this is waiting for permission, or out for repair, or pending approval, or whatever terminology makes sense for your company, then status types can really help you with that. Statuses can be filtered, they can be reported on, they can drive automation. So you can be really creative with it, or you can keep it really simple. The choice is yours. One of the great things about using HelpSpot is the fact that you aren't just working on this work by yourself, you're having your team work alongside you. And so of course you're going to want to add what we call staff to HelpSpot, your fellow team members. It's incredibly easy to do so. You can just start adding things like first name, last name, email address, make a password for them, etc. If you want to use Active Directory or some other kind of SAML2 way to log in, you can do that. If you don't know what those mean, that's totally okay. You can feel free to ignore it. And the final thing I want to talk about here quickly is that you can have permission groups. So if you have a big enough team where you need to have some people who can only do certain things, HelpSpot supports different permission groups, so definitely take a look at that if you can. The fourth thing I want to show you are filters. So filters show up on the left-hand side over here when you're in the workspace, and they allow you to create custom views into your requests. Far beyond what you can do just with Inbox and MyQ. So what kind of filter would I want? Well, maybe I want one that shows me everything that's open, or maybe I want one that shows me what's in one category versus another category. But you can do really creative things with filters, things like date and time based math. So you could say if it's been more than 8 hours since a request has had an update, I want to see a list of all those requests that have that, if you're trying to stay on top of service level agreements, or if you're just trying to make sure that nothing falls into the gaps. Finally, I want to quickly talk about mailboxes. You might have thought that is first to talk about because obviously you're going to use HelpSpot with email, but once you start using it, once you start connecting a real mailbox, real requests are going to start being created. So we save this for the very end. HelpSpot supports secure connections, as you can see, to both Microsoft and Google Mail accounts. And we also support IMAP if you have another type of email account that you need to connect. The way that HelpSpot works is it's going to take a copy of everything that is in the inbox and make a request out of it. So you should use the built-in email address that we give you just for the initial testing, make sure things work okay, and then when you're ready to go live, connect your actual mail account, and then you'll start having real requests. One final note, HelpSpot allows you to have custom email templates. You can customize what text is in there. You can add all kinds of things, so definitely take a look at that before you go ahead and connect that email box, just to make sure that if you've got auto reply turned on, what does that message say, and so on and so forth. There's obviously a ton of things that you can do with HelpSpot. Hopefully this got you off and running. If you've purchased HelpSpot, we highly recommend signing up for our free onboarding service, or you can just always ask our support team any questions you might have. Thanks.